안녕하세요, 스트레인입니다. Hey, Roses, I'm back to do a manga that I want to read soon video. I know last video it was manga that I've read recently. Again, apologize that that video was crazy long, but I've been on a massive reading kick again. And if you've been around the channel long enough, then you'll know about 11-12 years ago I was in a big reading kick then, but I did some book on haul videos because there were ones that I technically didn't want to keep, so I'm definitely not going to do that again because I want to keep the manga that I have because a lot of it is out of print stuff and very rare and very hard to find. So yeah, we'll just get started with ones that I want to read, and the first one is technically a reread for me from that long ago, and it is a shoujo called Angel Sanctuary. I freaking loved volumes 1 through 3 of this when the library had 1 through 3, because they didn't have volume 4, which I was a little bummed about, but I have volumes 1 through, I think 1 through 13, because Mama got them for me for Christmas, if you guys remember that, what I got for Christmas video. But she got them for me from the library here because they were selling them for $1 each, which I thought wasn't bad. But it follows this guy named Setsuna who basically thinks he's messed up because despite his attempts to be noble, he'll fight anyone anytime, he ignores all authority, and he harbors feelings for his sister that can only be described as incestuous. And it says, the reason may be found with 2 demons from the underworld and their enemy, an insane angel who's distributing an insidious computer game called Angel Sanctuary. So, interesting premise. I do remember liking this way back when, so, and now that I have 1 through 13, I'm glad to actually continue on from the first 3, so that'll be nice. Next one is another one from the What I Got for Christmas video that I have not gotten around to yet because I've been going to the library and reading a bunch of other stuff. That is Rurouni Kenshin. I have 1 through 20 of Rurouni Kenshin, and I do enjoy it. I really, I've enjoyed the clips that I've seen of the show. So I want to give the manga a shot. Just because so many people, and I'm sure if I read it first before I watched the clips, I would say the same thing. The manga is generally better than the anime because the anime kind of has to cut things down to make the series more streamlined compared to the anime, although I don't think that's the case with One Piece. Anyway, but this follows a Meiji swordsman named Kenjin who basically used to be a samurai, but he's basically trying to live in a peaceful manner. He's given up being an assassin because he was tired of all the bloodshed, basically. So I thought this was interesting idea, you know, a samurai assassin wanting to just live a peaceful life. And if he can do it, more power to him, because I know that's not an easy lifestyle to get out of. So I'm looking forward to this one. Next one, some of you guys will laugh. Splatoon. Yep, I did not know that Splatoon had its own manga. I didn't know Animal Crossing had its own manga either until I read it, but I was really, really curious about this. I enjoy watching the game. I have not played the game myself, but I enjoy watching it. And the game is really cool. like Nintendo's take on first-person shooter type of thing. So, but it's in teams. So, it says turf wars have started in Inkopolis, and the team that inks the most ground will be crowned the winner. Goggles and Team Blue are ranked lower than their competitors, but with some teamwork and a touch of creativity, they might just leave their mark on this tournament. So, definitely excited to read this. I know there are, I want to say 4 or 5 in this series. I want to say 4 or 5, but I could be wrong. Okay. Next one is Mao. I've heard a lot of good things about this one, mostly from my friends that know I'm a huge Inuyasha buff, because this is by the same mangaka as Inuyasha, or the writer is Inuyasha. Mangaka is just the word for it. But it follows this girl that passes through a portal into the Taisho era where an exorcist reluctantly rescues her. But when she goes back to the present, she discovers she has some new abilities. She returns to the past looking for answers, only to get caught up in Mao's investigation of a series of gruesome murders. As her questions about herself multiply, Nanako learns that Mao is cursed by a cat demon named Byoki, and so is a sword. If anyone but Mao attempts to wield it, they are doomed, but when Mao's life is in jeopardy, Nanako picks up his blade and swings. So, interesting idea. The going into the past trope is like Inuyasha. Sorry, that was Grandma talking to my grandfather. But it's similar in that vein, because if you know the story of Inuyasha, Kagome gets dragged through a well back into the feudal era period by this giant spider queen, I think is what it's called, because she has something that the demon wants. I'm not going to say what to avoid spoilers, but so it's similar in that vein, but in terms of overall story, it seems to be very different. So I am curious to read it and see what I think, and if I end up liking it, then I'll get more from the series, because I know that there is at least 4, I want to say 4, 3 or 4 in this series. Next, I'm wanting to read this one just because of how cute it is. It's Cat Gamer. This basically follows a woman who is an office worker who has an obsession for video games, but her life is upended when she takes in a stray cat, this little guy on the front. It says, having no experience with pets, Riko uses lessons drawn from video games to guide her in cat care, while her cute companion tries to understand Riko's behavior and personal obsession through a cat's worldview. So, about cat ownership from the view of the cat. So I thought this was really, really cute. I know there's 2 out. There may even be 3 out now. But I just thought this was super friggin' cute. And I'm a cat lover, as you guys know from seeing Curious in my videos, and from seeing the kitten and Baker in the videos I did with John. So, definitely excited to read that one. Next one is an omnibus, and this is by it's a shoujo, and it's Maid-sama, volumes 1 and 2. This is about a girl named Misaki, who basically is the president of a predominantly male high school, but she hides the fact that she works at a maid cafe because she doesn't want to feel embarrassed. But one day, one of the guys from her schools walks in the maid cafe where she works, and it's basically how's she gonna cope with that type of thing. But because this is volumes 1 and 2, it is a bit of a chunky book, so. I had never heard of this series before, but so many people recommended it to me when I mentioned, you know, older series that are kind of in shoujo, because I tend to gravitate more towards shoujo than I do shonen. Sorry. So, when they mentioned Maid-sama, I figured I would give it a shot. Okay, next, I actually bought volumes 1 through 5 of this off of someone on Instagram, and that is A Sign of Affection. I have heard so many people talk about this, and I love the premise. It sounds just so adorable. So, it follows this girl named Yu, who is deaf. And she's into fashion and friends and everything, but, you know, she speaks through sign language because she's deaf. And I don't know if she can lip read or not. She may, I don't know. But she meets this guy on the front named... Let me see if it says his name. Oh, it's Yuki, not you. My bad. Itsuomi, I think that's how you say his name. Itsuomi. But, he's never had, like, he knows 3 languages, but he has never come into contact with someone that is deaf. But she slowly starts to teach him the way she communicates, and it kind of turns into, like, a really sweet, innocent friendship at first. So I'm really curious to see how this one goes. Because, like I said, I've heard so many good things about it that I just am excited to read this. And I have volumes 1 through 5, which I think are the only current ones out. I think volume 6 is coming out soon. I think the friend that I got it from said it's in April. So, not too much longer before I can get volume 6. Next is Tokyo Ghoul Volume 3. I did read Volume 2 not that long ago. So I want to get into Volume 3. I feel really bad for this girl on the front. Oh, she tugs at my heartstrings so much. If you know, you know. But basically, Tokyo Ghoul is about this boy named Kaneki who goes out on a date with this girl named Rize. And in this world, there are ghouls, which are people that eat humans. And they're trying to keep... The humans are trying to keep the numbers down because they don't want ghouls to take over, basically. And unfortunately, Rize is a ghoul, and she goes and attacks Kaneki. And her organs get transplanted into him, turning him into a half-ghoul. Which basically means that he can't eat normal food. All human food tastes disgusting to him. The only human thing he can do is have coffee. That's it. So he has to basically feed off of humans, although I think they can do animals. It just won't hold them over very long, if I remember right. So yeah, definitely curious to see where this continues. I do have volume 4, so if I want to jump into volume 4 immediately after this, I can. But I know the library has the rest of them, so if I do end up getting into it and volume 5 is there, I can always grab it. And then the last one is heavy and chunky. Good grief, this thing's like a brick. It's the omnibus of Inuyasha volumes 1 through 3. I actually have volume 2 in the single volume, but they don't make the singles anymore, which sucks. But maybe if I go to a half-price book, I can find one. I don't know. Anyway. But this follows a girl named Kagome who basically gets transported to the feudal era, like similar to Mao. But she gets, you know, attacked by a spider demon, like I mentioned before, because she has something within her that the demons want, and I'm not going to say what. Like I said, I try to avoid as many spoilers as I possibly can. So, yeah. This is a chunk of a book. I do want to get more. Hopefully they have more next time I go somewhere that has these. But yeah. That was the end of what I plan to read next. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. I will let you know if my plans actually work or if they don't. It just depends on my preference at the time when reading. So hopefully you guys enjoyed, again, this video, because I know it's a little bit different. I know I typically don't be like reading focused that much, but as I've gotten back into it, I want to bring it back to the channel because it's been years since I've been wanting to read as much as I have. So, but again, with all that being said, hopefully you guys enjoyed this video, and I will talk to you guys soon in another video, another time. Bye, roses. 안녕.